Hey there, and welcome. So today we're pulling back the curtain on something we all experience, that invisible line connecting a random thought in your head to a product showing up in your shopping cart. Yep, we're talking about the hidden machinery of digital marketing, and we're about to lay out the whole blueprint.
I mean, it really does feel like magic, doesn't it? You're just thinking about your frizzy hair, and boom, the perfect solution suddenly pops up on your screen. But here's the thing, it's not magic, not at all. It's a really, really well-designed strategy, and we're going to show you exactly how that trick is done. So, to really get how all this works, you've got to start with the most important person in the whole equation, right? The customer. Let's actually walk in their shoes and follow their journey step by step.
Now, this whole process is built around a really important idea called the buyer's journey. And it's not some random, chaotic thing. It's a surprisingly predictable path that, well, all of us follow whenever we decide to buy something. You can almost think of it like the story of a purchase told in a few key acts.
And that journey, it pretty much always unfolds over 5 distinct stages. First, there's awareness. Then that builds into interest and consideration. After that, you get to the big moment, conversion. And if things go well, it ends with retention. So let's trace this exact path using that frizzy hair example we talked about. Okay, so first up is awareness. This is that classic moment. You know, when you realize you've got a problem, you're not even thinking about brands or products or anything like that yet. You're just frustrated. You're annoyed that your hair gets all frizzy every single time it rains. The problem is now officially on your radar.
So what do you do next? Well, you get curious. This is the interest stage. You start hopping online, searching for general solutions. Typing in how to fix frizzy hair. You're just exploring the big categories. Could I make a mask at home? Should I buy a new conditioner? Or maybe I need to go to a salon. At this point, you're just browsing.
Okay, now you start to zero in. Welcome to the consideration stage. This is where you're actively comparing specific options. You saw a post that said conditioner is way easier and cheaper. So now you're reading reviews, you're comparing prices, maybe you're even checking out what some influencers have to say. A decision is getting really close.
And then it happens. The moment of truth. Conversion. You hit that buy now button. But, and this is key, the smartest brands know the journey doesn't end there. If that conditioner actually works, you move into the final stage, retention. See, you didn't just solve a problem, you found your go-to solution. And that's how a real, loyal relationship with a brand actually starts.
Okay, so that's the customer side of the story. Makes sense, right? Now let's totally flip the script. Let's look behind the curtain. What tools are marketers actually using to guide you so perfectly along that path?
When you boil it all down, marketers are really working with 3 main types of media. First, you've got owned media. Think of this as their home base, their own website, their own blog. Then there's paid media, which is pretty self-explanatory. They're paying for your attention with social media ads and things like that. And finally, you've got earned media. This is the holy grail. It's pure digital word of mouth, all those reviews, shares, and mentions. That's where the real trust is built.
And this right here points to a huge philosophical shift in how marketing is done. See, old school marketing was all outbound. It just pushed ads out at everybody, just hoping anyone would pay attention. But modern digital marketing, it's all about inbound. It's designed to pull you in by giving you genuinely helpful content right when you need it. Remember that blog post you found about frizzy hair? Yep, that's inbound marketing doing its thing. Okay, this is the part where it all clicks into place. We've seen the customer's path and we've seen the marketer's toolkit. So the big question is, how do they actually connect? Well, this is the strategic blueprint. So, a digital marketing team's job really boils down to 5 core functions. They start with a plan for the whole strategy. Then they execute on building awareness, driving for conversions, and making sure customers stick around through retention. And kind of woven through all of that is the 5th and maybe the most critical function of all, constantly analyzing the data and optimizing everything.
And here it is. This is the master plan. Look at how the marketer's functions map directly onto the customer's journey. It's fascinating, right? Check out how the marketer's one big awareness job covers the customer all the way from their initial awareness, through their interest, and even into the consideration stage. Then, conversion and retention line up perfectly one-to-one. And the whole time, planning and analysis are just humming along in the background, making the entire system smarter and smarter with every single click.
You know, it's so important to understand just how revolutionary this whole approach really is. To fully appreciate this shift, you've got to see it side by side with the old way of doing things, what we now call traditional marketing.
Honestly, the difference is like night and day. Think about it. Traditional marketing, like a TV commercial, was a monologue. It was a one-to-many broadcast shouting at a passive audience. But digital marketing? It's a dialogue. It's one-to-one, and it's built for an active user who is literally pulling the information they want towards them. It's a conversation, not a lecture. So okay, after all these stages and tools and blueprints, what's the simple truth at the very heart of all this? Well, you can actually distill it all down into one powerful three-part philosophy.
It really all comes down to the 3 I's. First up is initiate. You have to always start with the customer and what they actually need. Second, iterate. You've got to use data to constantly learn and get better. Never, ever stop testing. And number 3, integrate. Make sure all your channels, both digital and traditional, are working together to tell one single, clear, cohesive story.
So the next time an ad pops up that seems to read your mind, you'll know what's going on. It's not magic, not at all. It's just a really well-crafted journey, designed to meet you exactly where you happen to be. The path from a problem to a purchase isn't a mystery anymore. So now the only question left is, what journey will you create?